Am I the asshole? For not giving my daughter the money that was reserved for my grandkids? I and my wife have only one daughter. We always wished we could have had more kids, but due to medical complications that I won't go into, we only had our girl. Because of that, we've always dreamed of being grandparents, so we made long-term investments that paid off, and now we have almost $350,000 saved up to help raise our future grandkids and cover their college expenses. I want to make it clear that we never pressured our daughter to have children in any way. She simply knows that the money is there and what it's intended for. I'll explain why this is relevant later on. The thing is, our daughter recently made the decision not to have kids. She told us a few months ago and even had a tubal ligation soon after. We were both a bit shocked and asked if she was sure, but we also reassured her that we'll always be there for her. I won't lie, I'm really disappointed, but not in our daughter. It's her life, and it's not our place to impose anything on her. My disappointment stems from the fact that I won't have grandkids. However, if this is what makes her happy, I have no right to say anything about it. Last week, we had a lunch at our house with our daughter, and she brought up the topic of the money we had saved for our future grandkids. We simply told her that we will make use of it differently now. For example, I'll be able to work fewer hours before retirement, and we plan to use the money for travel. At that moment, our daughter's expression changed, and she fell silent. When my wife asked if she was okay, she suddenly exploded, accusing us of punishing her for not having kids and taking away the money that she would have used if she had children. The situation became really tense, and she stormed out after the argument. Now she's not speaking to us and has posted about it on social media. We've also received some unpleasant messages from our daughter's friends, expressing their disapproval of our actions. Let me be clear, we haven't disowned her. She will still receive whatever money or properties we have when we pass away. However, we saved that money specifically to support our future grandkids, and now that we know we won't have any, we decided to use it for our own purposes. Is that wrong? Am I the asshole? It's her fertility and choice to have children. She made her choice. It's your money and your choice how to spend it. You made your choice. Blasting you online sounds like emotional manipulation to get her way. Not the asshole, but she is. Not the asshole. Taking away the money that she would have used if she had children. She wouldn't have had it because it was never for her. She will still receive whatever money or properties we have when we pass away. She should be very grateful. Now she's not speaking to us and has posted about it on social media. She may end up with nothing. Not the asshole. That money was never meant for her. It would have gone directly for things for the grandchildren, to improve their lives. You haven't done anything wrong. Not the asshole. But she sure is. Her behavior was impolite, but getting her friends to call you about it is atrocious. If you want children in your life, you should have that. Go to church or similar and adopt a friendly young couple with kids. I feel like it was a bad idea to tell her about the money before she had kids. If you had just waited until actual grandkids existed, she wouldn't feel entitled to it now and you could have used it freely without problems. Not the asshole. And I know this is hard to hear, but with that kind of selfish attitude, it's better that she never has children. Makes me wonder if she even really got a tubal. I think she just wanted the money. Not the asshole. You're upset because you wanted grandkids, but you aren't taking it out on her. She's treating it like money she was owed or promised, which it wasn't. It sounds like she thought she could fast-track the money into her pockets, and it speaks volumes about the company she keeps that her friends are coming after you now. Not the asshole. The reason you had that money in the first place is no longer an option. You haven't cut her off or anything like that. Honestly, her reaction was overblown. And that's coming from someone who has come to the decision kids just aren't for me. Because at the core I suspect it isn't really about the money, but more what it signifies to her. I realize this wasn't your intention, but you kind of sent the message that she's not as valuable to you if she doesn't give you grandchildren. It's pretty painful to hear that you aren't enough for your parents in your own right. Absolutely, it is your money, therefore your choice on what to with it. I guess I just wonder how much pressure you have placed on her over the years planning for your grandchildren. How much support did you give to her as a person rather than an incubator for your future grandchildren? How much does she feel you care about her as a person rather than a way to fix the fact you could only have one child? Not the asshole. You saved the money for your future grandchildren and not your daughter. The money was never promised to her. Info: how much financial support did you give your daughter for college funds and similar? Perhaps she feels like you prioritized a non-existent child over her. On another note, look into becoming foster parents. There are so many children that need a safe place to stay. Not the asshole. That money was never ever meant for her in the first place. Trying to pull together a mob of friends to pressure you into giving in? I'm so sorry you're being treated this poorly. Firmly not the asshole. I will never understand the need to blast someone on social media. I am sure you love your daughter very much and are distraught by her reaction. If you normally have a good relationship, let her cool down and then talk to her about why her reaction was so severe. Why does she need your money so urgently now? Until that money wasn't hers, it was being saved to make her future life easier. Continue to talk to her about her goals and thoughts. Ask her what she wanted to use the money for and explain that in 20 years by the time her would-be children should be going off to school and accessing the funds, who knows what will happen, and of course if she never has children it makes sense to use that money to make your lives easier in different ways. I think she's just emotionally reacting and doesn't realize she's being a jerk. I do wonder if you were as supportive of your daughter as you were of your imaginary grandkids. The whole situation seems really weird to me. It feels like there may be more emotional complexity here. IDK, you're not an A for not giving her the money, but I doubt you haven't been pressuring her. Why couldn't she have been enough without you fantasizing about these grandkids? That's why she's upset. The money thing was just more proof she's not enough and never was. Not the asshole. It's your money to spend as you wish. Not the asshole. That money was to make raising kids easier. It was never for her, and her decision to not have kids is hers. The money is yours and always was. Not the asshole. Not the asshole for spending your money how you please, but you were an asshole for telling her you had all this money put away and what you intended it for. The way she sees it, you were trying to bribe her into having children, and now she thinks you're punishing her because she chose not to. All this drama could easily have been avoided if you'd kept your mouths shut. Not the asshole. She's got no claim to that cash for herself. She may be more angry if she was thinking it would be hers to spend was a factor in her decision not to have kids, but her being upset isn't a reason to give her the money unless you have a history of spoiling her as the only child, in which case you reap what you sow. It wasn't a great idea to tell her how much money was involved until she'd got kids, and perhaps a bit tactless to go into detail on how you'd spend it, but she's being unreasonable here. Not the asshole. It's your money that you set aside for a very specific purpose. We put money into an account to go towards our kids' college expenses. If our kid doesn't go to college, we will use the money in another way. It's manipulative and immature of your daughter to throw a fit on social media and to have her friends harass you. If I were you, I would rethink leaving her anything in the will. She's ungrateful. Not the asshole. It's your money. The only way it would have been given to her is if she had decided to have kids. Since she made sure that she couldn't have kids, she isn't entitled to that money that you saved. Not the asshole. And I'm sorry, OP. Your daughter is displaying bad behavior. It's your money to do with as you see fit. And it's none of her friends' business. People are so entitled anymore. Not all people, but a lot are. Her thinking that she's entitled to what you saved is a prime example. Not the